Alright, strategic to tactical. It's 7 September 2014, and in this video I will just do a quick review on a sector I've been watching longer term. I talked about the steel sector a couple weeks back, that I definitely keep an eye on this sector, being that it's been a real laggard in this entire bull market. But what I was definitely seeing a shift, potential shift, if you will, in this sector. This is a weekly chart here. This is basically the financial crisis. As you can tell, steel took a real beating. Had a nice little recovery all the way until 2011, and then just kind of disconnected from the major market as the S&P, basically went up and did this. Steel just completely, languished and really almost traded back to these lows. But what we've seen here is basically a couple of years now, basically since 2012. We've basically had a sort of sideways to lower market, no question. We've definitely done some lower highs, slightly lower lows, but I think definitely the momentum seems to have shifted here from that lower low, lower high. I think now we sort of made a bit of a higher low here. What we're waiting for to happen is to make a higher high, which would be the first real higher high yet. And in some respects you can even view this as sort of a reverse head and shoulders pattern, right? I mean, I'm not a big guy with head and shoulders, but here's the shoulder, here's the left shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder. If we break above here, definitely sort of that reverse head and shoulders pattern, and that would basically put us potentially up in here as a first sort of target, like I'd say 1800-ish potentially. But we just haven't broken up through there yet. So we definitely have a little bit of a upper, we can draw this little uptrend here. So we haven't broken down below it, we haven't broken above it, so we're just really getting real tight here. So either this market wants to will break back down below these moving averages, below this trend line, or it will then finally break above like this 1400 level, and then maybe make a bit of a run higher here. And that's sort of what I'm leaning at. I could be wrong. Usually, many instances I am, but that's why we have a plan to get out. And my plan here, since I've been watching these, I've created this little workspace that I found all the some pretty liquid steel stocks, and what stocks I did get involved in. Since I've been watching this, I have gotten involved in one of the early stocks I got involved with was AKS Steel. And if again, keep in mind the index we just were watching, and some of these liquid steel stocks have done pretty well here over the past couple weeks, and definitely have disconnected somewhat from that steel sector index. It's way long ways from highs that were put in part of the financial crisis. But I actually got involved when we sort of broke above up in here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll give us the a daily on this, just so we can take a look, shorter term, if you will, because I've basically been watching them for the last month. I got involved in this one, I believe, right in here when we traded above this 9-ish area. I got involved, and it kind of whipsawed around. But I mean, since then, it really has. It's made quite an impressive move here so far for a $10 stock. The first I should have started off with this one. This is the first stock I got involved with, was U.S. Steel, and I actually bought it down on this day right here. I had no idea there was earnings, believe it or not, because I was just starting to watch it. This was more of a tactical setup that was flagged, that I had flagged. I had a big position, but sold most of it before the close, just because it was kind of an ugly day. And I would have sold it anyway if I knew earnings, because I'm not a big play the earnings type of trader. So it is what it is. I did hold a core position, and I still hold that core position in this up move. And it, again, it shows no abating. So as it keeps making higher highs, higher lows, there's no reason for me to sell it. And again, even as we saw, we can go way out here, a couple years, and then we could see not again. It's I don't want to get in the habit of saying, hey, look at how it was, 3 years ago. Maybe it gets back to 70. That's kind of potentially a bridge too far. But I mean, it's a $40 stock, and it has made an incredible move from the mid 20s to $40. So for it to pause here and come back into the high 30s would actually be constructive. And again, I'm looking at this for more of a potential long-term move. I'm still waiting for that steel index to confirm the move in these stocks. Another stock is STLD, and Steel Dynamics, another pretty monstrous move. I did not buy before this big move here, but I did get involved when it crept back up into these highs, and I bought some more prior to this latest move higher. So definitely like it. Looks great. NUE is another one, a new core that I got involved with recently. Especially as it sort of broke above this area in here. Actually added to it around 54, and it looks great even last week. So another steel stock that it seems to be divorced from the index that's supposed to track them. But let's see here. This is Reliance Steel that I also bought, but here's the other part of the picture, right? Because this does not look like a U.S. Steel, and I'm not a steel guy. So if I, a fundamental guy who tracks the steel index, steel stocks fundamentally, you could tell me all the reason why there's a divorce between stocks like Reliance Steel and U.S. Steel. So again, I'm not that smart, but there is a bit of a difference here, right? But I did get involved with Reliance when it broke above here. I bought it, kind of a little pain in here for a day or two, but then being a long-term position, my stop is a little bit further away. So in the money slightly, and definitely want to see it break back, sort of test the resistance up in here. I think there was some earnings or something that the market didn't like in here, so we'll see how that goes. SXC, Suncoke, again, this was sort of like a U.S. Steel, AK Steel, whatnot. Had a really nice run, making really look great, and then it kind of took a bit of a beating in here. But it's sort of stabilized, so what I really want to see is this thing then now, break above here, try for another run higher. Definitely don't want to see it get below this 23 level. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, I have a position in here. I think I bought it somewhere around here, so I'm right around break even on it. Let's see, the ones that aren't doing that great is Schnitzer. You've been a kind of a laggard as well. It seems like it's been trying to make some starts here, but then it takes breaks above these levels and then just kind of fails. So I'm leaning on this down here on 26. I'll be leaning on here. So yeah, just don't want to ride these to zero and then realize, oh, steel index never broke out, probably shouldn't have bought them, you know. So the ones that are working, like US Steel, and as long as they go higher, I'm all about it. But when these stocks, I buy them and they just, you know, taking levels out they shouldn't, I'm lightening up or selling them outright. ZEUS, another one that's been a little frustrating. You know, definitely not the pattern that the U.S. Steel was, AK Steel, you know, NUE, which were breaking out again. You look at this, definitely stuck in this pretty longer term downtrend. So I've been kind of trying to cheat into these, and it's been a little bit of a, you know, not, I wouldn't say an outright pain. I mean, I think I bought it somewhere in here when it was, you know, and then it just came back in. So again, my level that I'll be leaning on is roughly this 22.5 area to lighten up if it just does, if it starts to dribble back lower. But you know, on the buy side, definitely want to see these levels that you know, get taken out but rejected. You would like to see something hold in some of these stocks. Let's see, last but not least, the actual ETF has sort of been like the steel index, you know, just, yeah, this correlates pretty well to steel index, and you could see the moves in U.S. Steel and NUE definitely aren't showing up in the market vector steel index. It's just sort of still consolidating here. We really need to see this thing break above this 50.5 area, and it you know, it's definitely have a lot of trouble around 50s right now. So you know, again, I own a small piece of this. I actually bought some up 50. I think I sold below 49. And now I just hold a small position here. Again, I'll buy some back if it tries to make another move, but again, when things keep dribbling lower, I just not a strong holder in these things, right? So again, we'll see. So I do see some indicators of strength, but then obviously we have some stocks that are just not really are kind of lagging. So in a way, it's a you know, it's an index that has you know, different characteristics going on, and we'll see who wins. Is it the U.S. Steel type move, or is it the you know, the ZEUS and the Schnitzer and the Reliance Steel that just suck, just aren't, you know, I guess, you know, fundamentally they're just having a tough time, where U.S. Steel seems to have and NUE probably seem to have you know, maybe they're stealing business from those others, and that's, at the end of the day, it's a zero-sum game. So that's why you see the index not doing a whole lot of nothing, while you know, the companies that have their act together making the money, and the other ones who can, you know, losing business. Anyway, that's all I got on this. We'll continue to monitor. Thanks for watching.